The Cleveland Browns nearly pulled off the upset against their hated division rival, the Baltimore Ravens, in Week 11, but unfortunately fell just short. Now they get to travel to Las Vegas to take on Geno Smith and the Raiders, who are coming off a tough Monday Night Football loss. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this amazing matchup between these 2-8 teams, provide our predictions at the end. Be sure to stay tuned. Leave a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win and why. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button to get notified when new videos come out. We're trying to get to 100 new subscribers this week, and let's see if we can do it in this video alone. And Ryan, we could easily come on here and talk and can talk about Shedeur Sanders and all his debut in the NFL and make fun of him. But there's already a lot of people doing that on the internet already. So I want to talk about something positive, which is going to be historic here, which is wild to talk about because he could make it almost damn near achievable in this. But Myles Garrett has 15 sacks on the season so far this year.
Yeah.
There's 7 games left that the Browns still have to play. The Raiders have one of the worst offensive lines in the league.
Yeah.
The record, if anybody, if you're curious, though, is held by Michael Strahan and T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt is the Good Morning America host. If you are all curious about that, I'm just joking. Obviously, that was a dumb joke, but still, though, 7.5 sacks away from Myles Garrett here. Dude's just been an absolute beast. I think he's already elite, but
yeah.
I think part of it though is you got to go and compliment this rookie draft class for Cleveland and what they've done here. Mason Graham is really developing extremely well in the middle there. Yeah, Carson Schwarzenegger in the linebacker room. You can make an argument he could be up there for one of the defensive player rookie of the years. Mason Graham potentially even as well. Good secondary. Jim Schwartz has got a really good game plan week in and week out. It's the only thing that's really worth the damn watching this Cleveland Browns team, to be fair. Because obviously, as we saw with what this offensive caveat, to be fair, Dylan Gabriel, obviously with his limitations, this offense does have an identity with Dylan Gabriel on there. To be fair to Shedeur Sanders, we don't know what that identity is going to be if he is still a long-term quarterback. I think we all know what it might be, which is going to be worse than what it is with Dylan Gabriel based off what we saw there. But still, though, it's like this draft class for the Browns has a lot of positives with Quinshon Judkins, Dylan Sampson in the running back room. More Quinshon Judkins, to be fair. Harold Phantoms has looked really good. Dylan Gabriel's doing fine, exactly like what we talked about. But talking about this Browns rookie class, defensively especially as well, too, I think really helping Myles Garrett make this possible because he's getting more matchups here. They're getting more pressure because Myles Garrett, you're going to have to chip, going to have to double. So those guys are getting one-on-one matchups, which is going to extend the play, which is what happened with Lamar Jackson a lot. Myles Garrett was able to come in the first half and get those 4 sacks. Yeah. And so I feel really bad for Geno Smith because this whole defense is going to be like, how can we get Myles Garrett more sacks here?
Yeah. Well, and then also too, you look in this, like, to talk a little bit about the matchup, you talk about a strength on a weakness. This offensive line has been one of the worst in the league. And this Browns defensive front led by Myles Garrett is one of the most disruptive in the league. The secondary is very good as well. And they don't really have the weapons now to truly attack it. Brock Bowers he's a very good tight end, but he is their best receiver. And so,
yeah, by the longest shot, one of the worst receiving rooms. You can make an argument that this receiving room in Las Vegas is worse than in Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean, I think you could make that argument. I wouldn't want to take either, but it's very much Brock Bowers or bust, I think, right now for this team. And like even getting Ashton Genty involved, they couldn't really do that against a Dallas team that statistically has been one of the worst in the league. I know they just made a bunch of improvements and DeMarvion Overshown came back from injury. So it'll be really interesting to see how this game shakes out. The one saving grace, I think, for this Raiders team is if they can just keep this game close. I think it's going to be a heavy dose of the run because they do not want Geno Smith to just be in a traditional drop back passing game. Because if Cleveland gets a 14-0 lead or like they have a 10-point lead in the second half, it's going to be all Myles Garrett. It's just going to be any single down, he's just going to be pinning his ears back and just absolutely destroying whatever tackle you put in front of him. So I really think, like, Myles Garrett's already had 2 5-sack games this year. I really think he could have another one in this game. And honestly, and I'm not trying to like sound ridiculous here. The record is 22.5. We could not just witness Myles Garrett break it. Like, we could witness Myles Garrett blow past it. Like, he has a chance here in week week 12 to potentially get within 4 or 5 sacks of the record with 6 weeks to play.
Well,
And that's what's wild to me.
He needs to just average 1 sack a game plus then like an additional one to break the record, like with 7 games left.
Yeah.
Because obviously 7, that would get to 22. So he needs to have 1 2-sack game and then 1 sack a game for the rest of the season. And that's extremely possible with how good this defense is. But even then too, if you go look at their schedule coming up, it's not like the 49ers offense is a particular offensive line is not particularly great in general, though. Tennessee Titans offense, not particularly great either, with a rookie quarterback back there.
And he'd be going against Dan Moore, most likely, who he's played a ton for the Steelers.
If Braxton Jones is not back for the Bears and he's going up against that left tackle, Theo Bidet, I believe, he's been struggling. There's going to be opportunities there. Caleb Williams could also bring up some opportunities. The Bills, that one could be a little bit tougher, but still opportunities with Josh Allen, who might try and improvise. Steelers' offensive line is not great, and then you got at the Bengals, and their offensive line is not great. Like, it is extremely realistic that like not only could he get to 23, but 25, 27. You even mentioned too, while we were talking about this before we were recording, 30 potential sacks, which is a stretch, but a possibility. Like it really could be.
You look, so if he gets another 5-sack performance, that would put him at 20 sacks. That's 10 sacks in 6 games. That's almost 2 sacks a game. It's like a sack and 3/4 a game. And it's like, if he has one more, like, just astronomical performance throughout the rest of the year, like, that would put him over the record. And then that doesn't include all of his single sack performances. Like, he has just been on an absolute tear this year, and I'm really excited to see it. You've said it all the time, but it's just a shame that this Browns defense has to be paired with this Browns offense, because if they had a serviceable offense, this team would be very good.
Oh, yeah. Just serviceable. And so, real quick then, too, then we're talking about with Myles Garrett, because that's what this whole video has turned into. Have to see how long his career continues, but he's already 24th in the all-time sacks list. 200. Bruce Smith has the most from 200, but at 200 sacks. But he played an 18-year career. Myles Garrett's only been in the league for 7.5 seasons, 8.5 seasons, going back to 2017, and he's got 117.5 sacks already. Like, legendary stat. So not only are we talking about what a waste this 2025 defense is, but just what a waste of a like Hall of Fame career. Myles Garrett is already having. And so we're not even talking about the game, because let's be honest, who really cares about this game? It's fun. It's fun to. I would love to watch the Raiders more and see the young guys develop. Like, would love to see Ashton Jeanty develop, but it's hard to really see him develop because, as you mentioned, this offensive line is so bad. Where like he's just, it's not even like people who are saying like Ashton Jeanty is a bust is like they're not really watching the Raiders games, because he's getting no help whatsoever. Like it is really.
It's also why draft analysts were like, do not draft Ashton Jeanty if you're the Raiders.
Well, you can play the long-term game. I think he is that good. But it definitely is a long-term decision, and you're hoping that you have which they do have a bunch of cap space, but then you just go buy an offensive line, and just hope that it's significantly better than this year, which it can't get any worse, to be fair. So that's
Mhm.
why we're talking about all this stuff. One, I'm now rooting for Myles Garrett heavily now to break this record, which I think is very possible. And he might even do it too. If people are going to say anything, you might even do it in the 16 game season as well too. That's a very real possibility. But I'm going to go with Cleveland in this one. I think their defense is going to be too much. We'll need to see if Dylan Gabriel is good to go. I will feel more confident in this offense just because you kind of know what to expect. He can run it better and be more in control than with what we saw from Shador as well. With Shador, it was cool to see him out there. Uh, the internet's going to internet. There are a bunch of trolls out there. But the thing I noticed the most though is he held on to the ball for way too long, way too long. Guys probably weren't getting open, but you still got to roll out. You can't stick in the pocket there. You got to do something. And he was hanging on the ball for way too long. And then when he realized he had to move, he's either getting sacked or he started getting panicky. And so that's where to me I'd be that's going to have to change and develop. And I think it's part of the reason why obviously we're seeing them stick with Dylan Gabriel to start off when healthy. But either way, though, I'm still going to go with Cleveland here in this win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cleveland too. As you mentioned, I just think this defense is going to be super dominant. The one thing with Dylan Gabriel that he has done well at starting quarterback, he hasn't turned the ball over a lot. I believe he only has like 1 or 2 interceptions on the season.
Yeah.
And so like that's one thing that has been positive about his time there as the starter. But all in all, like I think overall this Raiders team is really going to struggle to move the ball. It reminds me a little bit of the Cleveland Miami game where this defense outside of Maxx Crosby, I think is really going to struggle. Well, like they just struggle anyways, but outside of Maxx Crosby has been average.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you look at this Browns team, they're going to want to run the ball and play good defense. And I just think the Raiders, if you are not making mistakes, the Raiders can't really capitalize. They just don't have the talent right now. And so I just think the Browns, if they don't make mistakes, they're going to win.
Yeah.
So we're both taking the Browns in this exciting AFC matchup here. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap this one up. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. While you're down there, leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. Will it be the Cleveland Browns? Will it be the Las Vegas Raiders? None of that. We'll see you guys next time.